By the way, did you notice that Boeing planes having malfunctions are like annoying ads now? Every single time you open the newspaper, it's another article in the corner with a Boeing airplane which had some sort of malfunction. It's becoming tiresome. Like, hey, Boeing, fix your shit. Stop spamming all my news with your dumbass airplanes. But anyway, let's talk about today. If diversity is strength, I don't understand why some evil people want to disempower the Idaho community. Because a bar that actually celebrates heteronormativity is so rare. Like, I don't know any others that do this. Like, if you do, just tell me. Usually the cope is like, well, they all do it. No. They don't all do it. Like, this one in particular would have given you 15% off, right? So, like, unless you can show me similar bars, they don't all do it. This adds to diversity. Like this makes all the bars not the same. So as we can see, it got a lot of people upset. They wanted to hire a judge that would decide if the clothing is heteronormative or not. And if the clothing was heteronormative, you would have gotten 15% off. Now, all jokes aside, though, obviously the reason people are doing this is to expose the bigotry on the other side, because the bigotry on the other side promotes itself as though we're tolerant, we're accepted, like, and they want other people to be tolerant and accepted. And usually, when someone wants me to change, I need a role model. Like, I need to look up at someone that already has the change so I can try to emulate that person. And when I look at the people that want the change, they are more bigots than I used to be. Like if I was to act like them, they would be shocked and appalled by my behavior. I don't know why though. Like maybe they don't see themselves. Like maybe they don't have mirrors. Maybe this is why we constantly have a requirement for representation in video games for people to see themselves. Because they don't have mirrors is the only explanation that I can think of. Either that or maybe, you know, they're like vampires that they don't have their own reflections. Because, like, again, if they were to see themselves and how they conduct themselves, they would definitely not appreciate seeing that behavior into others. So, in this particular case, like, imagine if a bar opens up in your neighborhood and it says, women that go there, they get 15% off. Usually what happens is, like, no one tries to censor the bar. No one is, going out of their way in order to inconvenience the business. But people simply don't patronage it. Like, they don't actually go as customers. And usually what happens is that the bar goes out of a business. Like, the problem fixes itself. So why can't they be like that? Why can't they just ignore it? Why can't they just ignore this particular bar? And I think the owner knows they can't ignore it. And this is why he actually did it. Which is also kind of interesting because they're saying that this promotes hatred. Like how? If I say I like black bread, does that mean that I hate white bread? No, it just means that I have a preference towards this thing. What's interesting is that, okay, let's assume that this is hatred, right? Like, let's assume that if you celebrate heteronormativity, it must mean that it's hatred towards any other sexual orientation. And it's like, well, okay, but like if you're celebrating LGBT then, how do you feel towards heteronormative people? But again, you know, like maybe this is self-reflection. Like maybe there are some activists out there that unironically despise anything that's different than them. And they think that if they celebrate what they like and they must hate everything else, then other people must be the same. But no, like you can celebrate something without disliking anything else, right? Like just because you celebrate 4th of July doesn't mean you hate Britain. Is it? I hope this is the case. So anyway, they did this, and obviously people on Facebook were very upset about it. To be honest, like this is free commercial, like this is the free advertisement from the right, because the left does marketing exactly the same. They will make a movie that is a sequel, a remake, or anything like that, and then they race swap or gender swap a character. And when people get upset about it, they call them racist and misogynists. And this causes buzz on social media. This causes the topic to trend. And eventually, people see it in the trending page, and that is free marketing. So this is literally what this bar did. By doing this, you know, the 15% off, this is marketing money. This is advertisement, because now everyone is on social media talking about this. In fact, it actually got in an article in the New York Post. Like, do you know how many businesses would love, like especially small businesses, would love to have an article in the New York Post? Right? So perfect marketing campaign. This is brilliant, you know? And the marketing campaign is driven by the activists. And they're saying the platitudes, the buzzwords that they have to say when something like this happens, or else their friends get annoyed. And it's like, oh, this is horribly disappointing. I can handle different political views. I cannot handle bigotry and hate towards marginalized communities. I love the fact that it implies that he can handle hate and bigotry towards non-marginalized communities, right? Like, basically now they're saying that, you know what, maybe some hatred is fine, but like we need to channel it properly. That's the argument that I see here. And secondly, I don't think he can handle different political views. Like, no way. There is no way that this person can handle different political views. Imagine being this insecure. I don't think it's about security. In fact, well, actually it is. You know, I think he is extremely secure now. Like, his business has probably been secured for more than 1 year after it got into the New York Post, and after you have even the Quarterly talk about it and many other YouTubers with millions of subscribers. Yeah, I think he just secured himself, like, right now. And you helped him do it, by the way. You, by posting there, is part of what got it to trend so that it got picked up by journalists. But then you also have like people that are supporting this, and they're basically saying that thank you for taking a stand for the rest of community who has been scared to do the right thing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they are scared to do this type of thing because look at the backlash. Now culture has shifted. Like, this type of backlash would have been enough to get your businesses shut down a couple of years ago. There were actual acts of vandalism, like people that were so outraged about something like this that they would take their baseball bats and smash the business down. Like, there have been cases, especially in Portland. I guess, you know, this is in Idaho, so it differs a little bit. But it's the overwhelming culture, right? Like, some people were more afraid of doing this years ago because the consequences were different. But the more the activists act like this, the more the culture shifts away from them. Because at the end of the day, this is the actual issue, you know, is the behavior of the activists. Like, why can't you just ignore it? And by the way, there are, for instance, bars in Asia where they give a discount to the size of the tits, right? So if the woman has a lot of breast fat, if she's got like big fat tits, she actually gets a discount. So it's like a scale at the entrance. Oh my God, can you imagine that in America? Holy shit. Like, having guns is fine, but like talking about breasts, it's anyway, right? So the woman like measures her breasts, and she chooses to go to that restaurant. She chooses to go to that business. And they measure their breasts, and based on the size, they get a discount. Now, does that mean that the restaurant hates people without breasts? No, it's just a funny joke. But again, like, you know, trying to explain joke to bigots, it just doesn't work. That's actually the best definition. People ask, like, what is a bigot? What is a bigot? What is woke? A person that doesn't get a joke. That's what a bigot is. That's what a woke is, right? If you can't take jokes, if you can't understand them, you're probably woke. But anyway, I found this to be absolutely hilarious, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Let me know what you think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.